Daf Yomi, tracking Avodah Zarah, page 47b, the last few words of 47a. In Talmudic times, external walls to homes were often built in two parts, with a functional space between them. If the space between the two parts of the wall belonged to him and to the house of idol worship, now at the top of Mem Zayin Amud Bet, 47b, Nidon Mechza al Mechza. The area is treated as half and half with regard to withdrawing into his property before rebuilding the wall. He may build the wall 4 cubits from the middle of that space. The stones of the fallen wall, its wood, its dust, transmit impurity like a creeping animal, meaning one who touches them becomes impure like one who touches a creeping animal, as it is stated, and you shall not bring an abomination into your house and be accursed like it. You shall detest it, and you shall abhor it, for it is a prescribed item. Deuteronomy 7:26. The term shaketz is used in a different form, shaketz, with regard to creeping animals. Rabbi Akiva Omer, Kenida, Shenemar, Tizreim, Kemo Dava, Tse Tomar Lo. Ma Nida Mitama Vimasa, Af Avodah Zarah Mitama Vimasa. Rabbi Akiva says those items transmit impurity like a menstruating woman. As it is stated, you will put them far away as a menstruating woman. You shall say to it, go away. Isaiah 30:22. Just as a menstruating woman transmits impurity by carrying, as one who moves a menstruating woman, even without touching her, becomes impure, so too objects of idol worship transmit impurity by carrying. That's the Mishnah. This is the Talmud. The Gemara says, the Mishnah teaches that one must rebuild his wall at a distance from the house of idol worship. The Gemara asks, but how may one do so? Isn't he creating more space for the house of idol worship? Rav Chanina Sofer says this is not a problem, as he converts the empty space into a bathroom. Since the Mishnah teaches that no wall may be built in that space, the bathroom is apparently not enclosed. The Gemara asks, but doesn't the bathroom need to be in a place of modesty? The Gemara answers, this is not a problem, as he converts it to a bathroom for nighttime when no one can see him. But didn't the master say in a Braita, who is a modest person? One who defecates at night in the same place that he defecates during the day, meaning in a place where no one can see him. And although we interpreted the Braita as referring not to location but to conduct, teaching that one must conduct himself at night in the same manner, meaning with the same degree of modesty as he does during the day, with regard to removing his clothing when defecating, see Brachot 62a. Nevertheless, it can be inferred from here that even at night one is required to observe the dictates of modesty. The Gemara answers that it's not a problem, as he converts it into a bathroom for children who are not required to observe the same level of modesty. The Gemara suggests a different answer of the problem of enlarging the space for idolatry. Alternatively, one can answer that he fences in the 4-cubit space with thorns and shrubs nearby, preventing its use. And that was that. New Mishnah. Shlosha batim hein bet bait shivanu itchilo levad Zarah haze asu. Saido
V'chiyaido levoid Zarah. V'chidesh no tilma shechidesh. Yichnis le'Zarah void Zarah tziyah harei mutar.
The Mishnah says, with regard to idol worship, there are three types of houses, each with its own halachot. A house that one built initially for the purpose of idol worship is forbidden, meaning it's prohibited to derive benefit from such a house. If one plastered a house or cemented it for the purpose of idol worship, and he thereby added a layer to the walls of the house, one removes that which he added, and the rest of the house is permitted. If one bought an object of idol worship into a house temporarily and then removed it, the house is then permitted. Gemara Talmud says, Amarav, Hamishtachavel Bayis Asav Anma Kasav Talush Ulvasav Chivo Katalush Dami Vianam Benautanan. Rav says one who bows to a house has rendered it forbidden. The Gemara infers evidently Rav holds that an item that was detached and that one subsequently attached is considered as it were still detached. Consequently, a house which is attached to the ground but was built with materials that were detached from the ground can become forbidden to worship. The Gemara asks, what did we learn in the Mishnah? That if a house is initially built for the purpose of idol worship, it is forbidden. This indicates that the house becomes forbidden only when it is initially constructed for idolatrous purposes. But no, אף על פי שלא ישתחווה לו, ישתחווה אף על פי שלא בנו, יהכי הנשלושה על באהבו. The Gemara answers that there are two cases where the house is rendered forbidden. If one built it for purposes of idol worship, even if he did not bow to it, or if he bowed to it, even if he did not build it for purposes of idol worship, it is forbidden in either case. The Gemara asks, if so, why does the Mishnah list only these three types of houses when there are really four? The Gemara answers, since with regard to the revocation of their idolatrous status, there is no difference between a house that one built for idolatrous purposes and a house that one bowed down to. The Mishnah considers them as one. New Mishnah. The Mishnah says, Shalosh avanim hen even shechat tzava mitchila lebimos harei ze asura saida v'chida l'shem avodah zarah no tilma shesiyed v'chiyed u'muteres העמיד עליה avodah zarah v'silka harei zo muteres. The Mishnah says, with regard to idol worship, there are three types of stones, each with its own halachot. A stone that one initially hewed for use in a platform for an idol is forbidden. If one plastered a stone or cemented it for the sake of idol worship, one removes that which he plastered or cemented, and the stone is permitted. If one erected an object of idol worship upon a stone and subsequently removed it, the stone is then permitted. Gemara. The Gemara says, Amar Avami v'shesiyed v'chiyad begufa shel eben. The Mishnah teaches that one may not derive benefit from a stone plastered or cemented for the sake of idol worship. Rav Ami says that is the halacha provided that one plastered or cemented within the stone itself, a carving or an engraving into it. If the plaster or cement was merely appended to the outside of the stone as an external ornament, the stone is not forbidden. V'had dumya dibait nan ubeid la beguveu mitzah bait namika beni ode. The Gemara asks, but didn't we learn in the Mishnah the halacha with regard to stones immediately following the halacha with regard to a house utilized for idol worship? This indicates that the halacha of a stone is similar to the halacha of a house. And in the case of a house that was rendered forbidden when it was plastered or cemented for idol worship, that plastering was not done within the house itself, but on the exterior of its walls, and even so is rendered forbidden. Accordingly, even external plastering should render the stone forbidden. The Gemara answers, in the case of a house, it can also be explained that the plaster or cement was added to the house itself, and there is space in between the bricks that can be filled in. The Gemara asks, as the Mishnah does not specify, are we not dealing even with a house that when plastered with no idolatrous purpose and then plastered again on top of that layer for the sake of idol worship, rendering the house forbidden even without affecting the house itself? The Gemara answers, Rabbi Ami was not explaining at what point a stone plastered for idolatry becomes forbidden. Rather, when Rabbi Ami's statement was stated, it was stated with regard to revocation of the stone's idolatrous status, and he taught that even if one plastered or cemented within the stone itself, when one removes that which was added, it is permitted. כיוון שסייד וחייד בגופה של אבן, כיוון שחצה בה בתחילה לבד זרע תניא, ותיצא שר כולה כמשמען. The Gemara explains Rabbi Ami's ruling, lest you say that since one plastered or cemented within the stone itself is equivalent to a stone that one initially hewed for idol worship, and therefore the entire stone is forbidden. Rabbi Ami teaches us that the stone can become permitted by the removal of the additional layer of plaster.